Okay.
We're rolling.
Okay. Nick, if you could please say and spell your first and last name and where you're from.
Nicholas Corak, or you can use Nick, N-I-C-K or Nicholascorak. I'm from Kernersville, North Carolina.
Great. Nick, if you could please describe a typical day teaching in San Pedro.
A typical day teaching for me would consist
Hang on,
of...
hang on. I'm sorry. Okay, just go ahead. Start
A
again.
typical day teaching for me would start by arriving at school. We've got homeroom at 7:50, and it's really a pointless...
Sorry.
We'll have to start all over
Didn't
with a
expect
plane.
Yeah,
You were doing so well.
homeroom is pointless.
Let's and then if you could pause after I speak so they can cut me out.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, ready?
Let's start that again. Just tell you what. Hang on one second. Let me, just keep this. Okay.
Nick, if you could please describe a typical day teaching in Belize.
A typical day for me starts arriving at the school at 7:30 in the morning. Homeroom starts at 7:50. It lasts 10 minutes. And then we've got a different schedule every day of the week. So that may run 6 classes in one day, 4 classes in another, out of a total of 8 period days. So if I only have 6, that means we've got 2 planning. If I only have 4, that means I've got 4 planning. And during those planning periods is where we do a lot of the grading and all the necessary lesson plans. So we'll type up on Friday the lesson the entire week for the following week. And during the classes, I teach 3A physics, which is like juniors physics, and 4A physics. And we go in and take notes or read. We've done a couple labs. So depending on the day of the week in that lesson, we run different activities.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out why it was jostling.
So you're touching the bench.
Oh,
We're good.
Sorry, just let me do this.
sorry, something bit me.
I was like, what am I doing?
Peter departed
6 o'clock, damn.
to the
Okay.
bar. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Nick,
What's your prompt?
Nick, if you could please describe how you plan your instruction here.
I don't do a whole lot of planning. I sit down and my professor or my teacher that I'm working with does an excellent job of meeting all the standards. So they have the CXC standards, and we go through and we make sure that we cover each bullet that's in the curriculum for each class. That's chemistry and 2 physics classes, 1 for the juniors and 1 for the seniors. And we just create, there's not a lot of resources, so there's not a lot of real activities we can do, so we do different activities where we read like we did today in class and have the students summarize. But as far as how we lesson plan, it takes 15 minutes to plan the whole week because there's not too many extra activities we can do. For the labs, we take some time just to make sure we've got all the equipment ready the day before. But they're labs that he's done over and over again, so they're already written and it's pretty straightforward.
Nick, if you could please describe how you try to meet the diverse needs of your students in all your classes.
Well, it's difficult because first you have to spend some time getting to know your students. There's no special needs teachers. No one does any research. So what we try to do to meet a lot of different learning styles, at least, is what we really focus on, is by having the students look at notes, read notes aloud, read the book, and put things in a historical perspective so they've got some sort of storyline to follow. And then we have them practice in small groups so they can talk with each other and individually, depending on how well they're behaving. And that generally gets to a lot of different people. They enjoy talking, so we let them explain things. So if they're going to talk, why don't we at least talk about physics? Because it's really difficult to get a lot of them under control and focus. So if we're going to be active, they've got to be doing the math or doing the chemistry or doing the physics.
And if you think back to before you came to Belize, get a dead leaf off.
Driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're rolling? Okay. Nick, if you can think back before you came here, what your perceptions were of how it would be to teach in San Pedro, and think about have your perceptions changed, and if they have, how?
One of the biggest things that's changed, one of the biggest perceptions that's changed, is that I thought it was going to be very third world. And while there are areas that it definitely is, and the resources that are at the school, those hold true. However, my students, a lot of them don't come from third world families, or they don't come from poverty. They have got a lot of money, and so if we need resources to do labs, we just tell the students, you got to bring it in. We make lists, and they do go home and they get it. And so they bring in all of their materials. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I've seen that changed as far as what I expected, from what I expected to what I saw here.
And is there anything you wish you had known before you came to help you prepare to teach at San Pedro High School?
Well, the way I looked at it is I'd like to be unprepared, because I like to take whatever comes at me. And that's like the opposite of what they teach you in the School of Education, is that, you know, there's all these lesson plannings. But because of the hectic schedule here, I think that really fits in with my style of teaching. And if I could say anything, I like it better. That I can just come to school with an idea of what I'm going to be talking about and just go run with things, and let the story of the topics, we'll cover everything, but let it flow however it's going to flow. And without the resources, it's easy to do that. There's just a lot of discussion. If we had more resources, we could do a little bit more activities and more demonstrations and different experiments, but we don't have that. We can see if we can get it from the students, but that takes some planning. So I like that go with the flow. I don't like being prepared.
Just give a second. I think there's a point about that.
Oh, okay.
That's what you were saying?
Go ahead, Taylor. Go ahead.
Okay.
Wait,
Nick,
nope. Here you go.
a lot of planes here, actually.
Okay.
Okay. Nick, how do you think this experience has changed you as a future teacher?
One of the things that this experience has allowed me to grow in is being able to, first off, teach new things. I'm teaching chemistry a little bit, and I've never taught chemistry. I've never actually had the opportunity to teach physics, although that's always what I've wanted to do. And so it's given me more practice in teaching physics and making a story of the science. And I've never had that before, because my certification from North Carolina is going to be in mathematics. I'll be going to grad school for science education, and I think this was a very good experience for me to get inside of a science classroom and experience that before I get to the next level of science education.
Any other insights that come to mind about teaching here?
The students, while they, as a big group, they don't always pay attention, they get rowdy. Individually, they really are smart and they will do the work, but it's a matter of,
Let's start that one.
If I had to offer some insight here, from what I've learned here, is that some of the students, while they don't behave all the time in class, it's about that management, the classroom management. I don't think they have any self-control from home. They haven't learned any of that, and so it starts at home, where they don't get any discipline, and they're always striving to get the attention, especially when they have 5, 6, 7 siblings. So they're always looking to get that attention, and it's hard to give it to one individual in a class of 38 all the time. So getting to know them in break, getting to know them after class, stick around for a minute if I've got a break, to talk to them until the other teacher comes in. If I could give any advice, it's to get to know the students more, because the more you get to know the students, the more they'll listen to you.
Good. Okay. Very nice, Nick.
Thanks.
Very nice job. Thank you. Excellent. Excellent.
Unplug? Or
Yeah.
screws?
Thank you, sir. Oh.